Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In today's session, we will talk some important points from plant physiology. Watch till the end because in the end we are organizing a quiz from that particular session so that you can assess your knowledge, you can know whatever you have learned is in your memory or not. If not, then you can revise it again. Okay, so let's begin today's session, that is important points from plant physiology and self-assessment test from plant physiology. Okay, so let's begin. What is the function of leg hemoglobin? What is the function of leg hemoglobin? Oxygen regulation. Where leg hemoglobin is found, it is found in generally if you observe the nodule, you can find root nodule is pinkish or reddish color. That is due to leg hemoglobin. Okay, this is an iron containing compound. So leg hemoglobin, the main role is oxygen regulation. Okay, then father of plant physiology, who is known as considered as the father of plant physiology, that is Stephen Hales. Photorespiration, it is a wasteful process, you know. Photorespiration, it is high in C3 crops. Okay, सबसे lowest जो photorespiration रहता है वो C4 crop में रहता है, and it is high in C3 crop. Example of C3 crops are rice, wheat, pulse. Okay, photorespiration is otherwise known as glycolate pathway or C2 cycle. Glycolate pathway or C2 cycle. It is wasteful process because it is temperature dependent. Okay, photorespiration is temperature dependent. Among different types of bond found, which one is the strongest bond, that is ionic bond, and which one is the weakest bond, that is van der Waals bond. Okay, latent heat of vaporization of water, that is 586 calorie. One is latent heat, one is sensible heat. What is latent heat? Latent heat means when there is a phase change, like if we boil the water, it changes from liquid form to gaseous form. So during that phase change, there is no increase in temperature happens. Okay, or else if we consider when we ice the water, right, it transfer from liquid form to solid form, but there is no change in the temperature, right? So in that case, that is known as latent heat. Here latent heat of vaporization, that is 586 calorie. Okay, then latent heat of fusion, it is 80 calorie. So at that particular moment, this much calorie of energy is required. Maximum free radical produced during, when maximum free radical produced, that is during senescence stage. There are different stages of plants like lag phase, log phase, exponent phase, then plateau phase, senescence phase. So in senescence phase, like the latter stages of plant, there is more free radicals being produced. And transpiration measured by, which instrument is used for transpiration measurement, that is potometer. Root pressure is measured by manometer. Okay, then water table in soil, that is measured by piezometer. Site of oxidative electron transport, that is mitochondria. Mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of cell. Okay, mitochondria is also known as powerhouse of cell. ATP is known as power currency of cell. Okay, energy currency or power currency of cell. Fluid mosaic model of cell membrane was proposed by Singer and Nicholson. Most commonly grown crop plant, those are glycophytes. Okay, one is glycophyte, another one is halophyte, right? So most of the plants are glycophyte. Halophytes are those plants which can survive in saline condition. Sun loving plants are known as heliophyte. Okay, sun loving plant are known as heliophyte, and shade loving plant, these are known as zeophyte. Okay, acid rain is mainly due to a larger quantity of nitrous oxide and sulfur dioxide in atmosphere. Okay, what happens when the concentration of nitrous oxide and sulfur dioxide it increases in atmosphere, it reacts with water and forms HNO3 and H2SO4. Those are acid contributing in acid rain, right? Then mycorrhiza, it is the association of fungi and higher plant root of higher plant and fungi. It increases the uptake of phosphorus. It mobilizes phosphorus, it mobilizes water, it mobilizes the immobile nutrient in soil, right? Because it increases the effective root zone of that plant. VAM or vesicular arbuscular mycorrhiza, that is mostly found in perennial trees. If we increase the oxygen to cytokinin ratio in tissue culture, it will increase the rooting. Okay, rooting of callus. Okay, in tissue culture, we generally take some nutrient-rich media to grow any culture. So in that media, if we increase the ratio of oxygen and cytokinin, then the rooting of that callus will happen. If we do opposite, if we increase the cytokinin to oxygen ratio in that media, then shoot growth will happen. And jet scheme of electron transport, it was first proposed by Hill and Bendel. What is jet scheme? In jet scheme, you can find in any physiology textbook. So what happened? There are two centers of solar radiation receiver like P680, one center that is known as PS2, another one is P700, that is PS1. Okay. So these are two centers. So from there, electron transport happen in jet cycle. Okay. So that is jet scheme that was proposed by Hill and Bendel. So basically in jet scheme, what happens? Photolysis happens, then electron movement happens, like cyclic movement and non-cyclic movement are there. So natural inhibitor of indole acetic acid oxidase, that is coumaric acid. Natural inhibitor of IAA oxidase, that is coumaric acid. So what are the CAM plants? CAM plants are generally those plants where the stomata is open during night time and it closes during daytime. So the transpiration is more in night time. Example of CAM plant are onion, garlic, sisal, pineapple. So if we consider the water use efficiency, then it is highest in CAM plant because in daytime water loss is more, but in CAM plant what happens? The stomata are closed so that water loss or transpiration restricted during daytime. In C4 crops such as maize, sorghum, millet, first stable product. C4 means it's a C4 cycle. Okay. In that cycle, the first stable product is oxaloacetic acid and carbon dioxide acceptor is PEPCO, PEP carboxylase, phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. So in C4 cycle, the water use efficiency obviously higher than C3 crop. And C3 crop, what are the C3 crop? Rice, wheat, pulses. The first stable product in C3 crop is PGA and carbon dioxide acceptor is Rubisco. So these examples and C4, the examples of C4 crops, then examples of C3 crop, what is the first stable product of C3, C4 crop, what is the carbon dioxide acceptor of enzyme that is act in C4 and C3 crop. These are important and these are being frequently asked in different competitive exams, right? So you have to remember these points. An ecosystem having highest net primary productivity per unit area. What is net primary productivity? Whenever photosynthesis happens, that is whatever quantity of photosynthesis that is generated, that is known as gross photosynthesis. So after that, plant use some photosynthesis to have its metabolic activity, to generate some energy to carry out its metabolic activity. So that is reduced. When that is reduced from gross photosynthesis, then there is a term comes net photosynthesis, and that net photosynthesis that is stored in economical parts like fruits, grains, etc. So that is known as net photosynthesis or net primary productivity. It is per unit area. If we say in tropical rainforest, the net primary productivity is higher. Radiation at which photosynthesis rate is equal to respiration rate. The radiation means radiation intensity, the solar radiation intensity at which photosynthesis rate is equal to respiration rate, that is known as light compensation point. Same case in case of carbon dioxide compensation also. If at that concentration, carbon dioxide concentration, when the rate of photosynthesis is equal to respiration rate, that is known as carbon dioxide compensation point. Then transpiration ratio, it is highest for C3 plant. What is transpiration ratio? Transpiration ratio means for 1 kg dry matter production, how many liters of water that is being transpired through a crop. Okay, so that is highest for C3 crop. So water use efficiency is lower for C3 crop and transpiration ratio is higher for C3 crops or C3 plants. So you have to remember this. Respiratory quotient, that is for carbohydrate it is 1, for fatty acid that is 0.7, for organic acid that is 1.33. So question generally being asked that for which of the biomolecule the respiratory quotient is 1, that is you have to answer carbohydrate, and for which of the biomolecule the respiratory quotient is more than 1, that is organic acids. End product of glycolysis, you know what glycolysis is. It is occurs in cytosol and it is a stage of respiration. So the end product of glycolysis cycle is pyruvic acid. Okay, you know the cycle, right? Glucose, then glucose 6-phosphate, right? Like that. So last product, end product is pyruvic acid. Kranz type anatomy, that is being found in C4 crops. Okay, Kranz type anatomy that is found in C4 crops. Nutrient related with water oxidizing enzyme complex, that is manganese. Okay, manganese is essential for photolysis of water or water oxidizing enzyme complex. The metal constituent of carbonic anhydrase, that is zinc. Precursor of oxygen. So there are different hormones, there are some growth promoter, growth retardant hormones are there. They are precursors, means from where they are being synthesized. Let's see, oxygen from tryptophan, okay, cytokinin from isopentenyl adenine, ABA from violaxanthin, and ethylene from methionine, right? So these are certain precursors of different hormones. Then some plants are day neutral plants, some are short day plants, some are long day plants, right? If there is a short day plant, then we need longer night period for that crop for flowering, right? If then the plant is long day plant, then we need shorter night period or longer day for that plant to flower, right? And another plants are day neutral plant. Whatever day length is there, there is no effect on those plants, right? So what are the examples of day neutral plant? Like peas, cotton, buckwheat, sunflower. These are some day neutral crops. Conversion of fat into sugar occurs in where the conversion of fat into sugar occurs, that is glyoxysome, right? Photorespiration occurs in chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisome. Okay, photorespiration, as we know, it is also known as glycosylate cycle and or C2 cycle. 3-cell organelle photorespiration occurs, that is chloroplast, mitochondria, and peroxisome. Light reaction occurs in grana and dark reaction occurs in stroma. So photosynthesis, where it occurs in chloroplast. So inside chloroplast, what we find grana and stroma. So in grana, light reaction occurs, and in stroma, dark reaction occurs. This is also important. Where glycolysis occurs, occurs in cytoplasm, and Krebs cycle occurs in mitochondria. Water use efficiency, if we see, that is highest in CAM plant, followed by C4 crops, followed by C3 crops, right? Which one is the sweetest sugar? That is fructose. Fructose is the sweetest sugar. Which one is the non-reducing sugar? That is sucrose. It is non-reducing sugar. Milk sugar is also known as lactose. That is combination of glucose and galactose. Term protein was coined by Mulder. Remember, term protein was coined by Mulder. Term vitamin was coined by Funk, F-U-N-K. Term vernalization was coined by T.D. Lysenko. This is also important. Shrinkage of cell in hypertonic solution, that is known as plasmolysis. What happens? There are 3 types of solution. One is hypotonic, one is hypertonic, one is isotonic solution with respect to the concentration of protoplasm of the cell. Okay, if we place a cell in a solution where the solution concentration is higher than the cell concentration, then that is known as hypertonic solution. In that case, what will happen? The water from cell itself, it releases towards the hypertonic solution, right? So what will happen? Shrinkage or plasmolysis will occur. If we place a cell in hypotonic solution, means the concentration where we put that cell, so that environment concentration is lower, much lower than the cell concentration, then water will flow from that lower concentration inside the cell, then that there will be turgidity will happen. In isotonic solution, the concentration of the medium is equal to the concentration of cell, so there will be no movement of water. Remember this. Transportation of water and mineral nutrient, that is through xylem, and transportation of food inside plant, that is occurs through phloem. Total amount of water present in soil, that is known as Hollard. Okay, which amino acid is accumulated during stress, then that will be proline. But if questions being asked that which hormone is accumulated during stress, then the answer will be ABA, abscisic acid. Okay, what is diffusion pressure deficit? Formula of diffusion pressure deficit is equal to osmotic pressure minus turgor pressure or wall pressure. This is also known as turgor pressure, is also known as wall pressure. So dPd is equal to OP minus WP or OP minus TP. Absorption of water or mineral using metabolic energy, that is known as active absorption, which is less than 10%, and during transpiration pool, using transpiration pool, that is known as passive absorption, or that is happens in most of the cases, like more than 90% cases. Pulsation theory of ascent of sap, that was proposed by Sir J.C. Bose, Jagdish Chandra Bose. Chlorophyll A, the formula, it is also being asked in several competitive exams. What is the formula of chlorophyll A? That is C55H72O5N4Mg, and the formula of chlorophyll B, that is C55H70O6N4Mg. So the central molecule is magnesium. This is also being asked, which among the following mineral is found in chlorophyll. So you have to answer magnesium, right? So, students, this is all about some important key points from plant physiology section, which is being asked in several competitive exams. Now it is the quiz time. So, self-assess your knowledge on plant physiology by appearing this quiz. If you face any doubt in this lecture or any particular lecture in our channel, so you can ask in comment section so that I can clarify your doubts if possible. And if you like our effort to increase your knowledge or to get you something that you need, then you can subscribe to our channel. You can join our Telegram group also, where we are discussing several concepts or several questions, so that it can be benefited for your preparation, exam preparation, right? So see you in the next lecture.